Dalem. Mas minggir makanya minggir.
The ghost buffalo of Java. Secrets of the sacred albino. Deep within the heart of Java, where ancient mysticism refuses to fade into the modern world, lives a creature that defies nature. It is not a myth, it is flesh, bone, and striking, pale skin. This is the story of the kerbau bule, buffalo of Indonesia. But forget what you know about ordinary livestock. These animals are not treated as beasts of burden. They are revered as living heirlooms, protected like kings, and whispered to possess powers that bend fate itself. The contrast of the white shadow. To understand the kerbau bule, you must first look at the landscape of Indonesia. In the endless emerald rice fields, the water buffalo is a familiar sight. They are massive, slate gray, mud-covered symbols of hard work. They are the backbone of the soil. Then, out of the shadows emerges a stark contrast. A creature with skin the color of pink marble and cream. Its hair is white as silver, and its eyes carry a piercing, pale gaze that feels unsettlingly human. In a world of deep tropical colors, this albino buffalo looks like a ghost, wandering through the living world. Biologically, it is a rare genetic anomaly, lack of melanin, that makes it highly sensitive to the tropical sun. But in Java, science takes a backseat to the supernatural. Here, they are known as kayai, a title reserved only for highly respected Islamic scholars or sacred relics. Imagine an animal so revered that its very presence is believed to shield the whole kingdom from disaster, guardians of the royal bloodline. To find the epicenter of this reverence, we have to travel to the royal city of Surakarta, specifically to the Karatan Kasunanon. Here, the kerbau bule are not property. They are members of the royal court. The origin of their sacred status stretches back centuries. Legend says these white buffaloes were a gift from a powerful mystic to the king, serving as guardians for the realm's most sacred heirloom spears and daggers. When the royal family moved their palace, the white buffaloes led the procession. Wherever they chose to stop and rest, that was where the new palace was built. They became the ultimate compass of destiny. Because of this, the descendants of those original buffaloes are treated with absolute royalty. They have their own dedicated caretakers. They are fed the finest grass, washed with care, and allowed to roam freely. To harm one is considered an invitation to a lifetime of misfortune. They carry the weight of a kingdom's spiritual balance on their massive, pale shoulders. The midnight ritual. If you want to see just how deep this obsession goes, you have to witness the night of the Islamic New Year, or Satu Suro, while the rest of the world celebrates with fireworks and music. Surakarta falls into a heavy, hypnotic silence. Thousands of people line the streets in total darkness. No one speaks. The air is thick with the scent of burning incense and jasmine blossoms. Suddenly, the crowd shifts. The tension rises. Leading the grand royal procession are not the princes, nor the soldiers, but the kerbau bule. As these pale giants walk through the midnight streets, something extraordinary happens. People push through the crowds, desperate just to touch their skin. But it goes further than that. Observers eagerly collect the leftovers of the food the buffaloes drop, and even the water used to wash them. In the local belief system, this isn't Tertitis Burka, a source of divine blessing, prosperity, and protection. It is a striking display of devotion that completely turns our understanding of the relationship between humans and animals upside down. The curse of the light. But living as a sacred icon comes with a heavy, hidden price. Nature never intended for a creature to look like this in the harsh tropics. Because of their complete lack of pigment, the kerbau bule face a constant, silent battle against their own environment. The fierce Indonesian sun burns their sensitive skin easily. Their pale eyes struggle against the blinding daylight, making them partially blind during the peak hours of the afternoon. In the wild, an animal like this would not survive. Their bright coat makes them an instant target, and the climate is an enemy. Their survival is entirely dependent on human hands. They are trapped in a strange paradox, protected from the wild by royal decree, yet physically vulnerable to the very land they are said to protect. They are fragile gods, kept alive by tradition. The hidden language of caretakers. The relationship between the kerbau bule and their human guardians goes far beyond basic animal husbandry. It is an intimate, lifelong dialogue. The royal caretakers, known as Abdi Dalem, do not use whips or loud commands to guide these massive creatures. Instead, they speak to them in low, rhythmic Javanese whispers, treating them as conscious, spiritual entities that understand every word. It is said that these buffaloes can sense the purity of a human's heart. They will remain completely calm around the person with peaceful intentions, but will grow restless and stubborn if someone approaches them with greed or malice. This bond is so profound that when a senior caretaker passes away, the herd has been known to exhibit signs of deep mourning, refusing food for days, as if they feel the sudden void in their sacred circle. A fortune kept in the shadows, outside the palace walls. The rarity of these albino giants has triggered a bizarre and highly secretive underground economy, because the general public believes that even a single hair from a kerbal can bring immense wealth and protect abysses from bankruptcy. The animals require 24-hour security. In the past, desperate individuals have attempted to sneak into the stables under the cover of night, not to steal the entire animal, but to clip a piece of its white-tail hair or gather the dirt beneath its hooves. This extreme devotion forces us to ask a fascinating question. If you were given the chance to stand before a creature rumored to hold the keys to absolute prosperity, would you respect its sacred boundaries? Or would you try to claim a piece of its magic for yourself? The scientific battle against the myth. While millions look at the pink skin of the kerbal and see divine intervention, modern veterinary scientists look at them and see a genetic ticking time bomb. Albinism in water buffaloes is caused by a double recessive gene, meaning both parents must carry the trait for a calf to be born white. In a closed royal herd, this inevitably leads to intense inbreeding, which weakens the animals' immune systems and threatens their ability to reproduce. Scientists have quietly proposed introducing external, non-albino buffalo bloodlines to save the herd from genetic collapse. But this creates a massive cultural dilemma. For the traditionalists, altering the bloodline means diluting the sacred energy passed down by the ancient kings. A clash where modern science and ancient mysticism stand locked in a tense, unresolved standoff. The contrast of global perspectives. To truly appreciate how unique the kerbal is, one must look at how the rest of the world treats rare animal anomalies. In Western farming, an albino calf is often viewed as a genetic defect, a vulnerability that makes the animal less valuable for standard livestock production. In other cultures, rare white animals are treated as specimens to be locked behind the glass of a zoo or studied in an isolated laboratory. Yet, here in Indonesia, the exact opposite happens. A biological anomaly elevates a common farm animal into a living deity, proving that value is not inherent in what a creature can produce, but in how a culture chooses to perceive it. It is a beautiful reminder of how local wisdom can transform a perceived weakness into the ultimate symbol of strength and reverence, the weight of a living legacy. As the sun sets over the ancient city of Surakarta, casting long shadows across the palace courtyard, the kerbal slowly retreat to their sanctuaries. They do not know that they carry the spiritual identity of an entire civilization on their pale backs. They do not know that their survival is a direct reflection of a kingdom's endurance. They simply exist, magnificent, fragile, and silent. In a world that is moving faster every day, where concrete is replacing fields and algorithms are replacing ancient stories, these white buffaloes stand as an steward anchor to the past. They are living proof that magic hasn't disappeared from the earth. It is simply waiting for those who are willing to slow down, look past the surface, and listen to the whispers of history. The resistance against the fast-paced world, in a modern world obsessed with blinding speed, economic efficiency, and the relentless march of progress, the Kiai Islamita, sacred white buffaloes exist as a poetic anomaly. They are a living, breathing rebellion against the currents of modernization, which so often crush the intangible in pursuit of mere production numbers. While the outside world worships artificial intelligence and towering skyscrapers, the Javanese people have deliberately preserved a sanctuary in the very heart of their bustling city for this slow-moving albino herd. It is a powerful visual contrast. It serves as a stark reminder to anyone who witnesses them. The true advancement of a civilization is not measured by how fast it leaps into the future, but by how firmly it anchors itself to its spiritual roots. A soliloquy at twilight. Ultimately, the destiny of these white buffaloes mirrors the fate of our own identity in the crushing grip of globalization. Will we allow these mystical creatures to be buried in the dusty pages of history as a myth of the past? Or are we willing to find a compromise between science and tradition to save them? As long as the small bells around their necks continue to chime, piercing the silence of the Surakata night, hope remains alive. They will continue to march, treading upon modern asphalt with an ancient, timeless grace. They carry a silent message to us all. In a world that grows louder and more mechanical by the day, humanity will always need a touch of magic to keep its soul alive. The fragile biology of a heavenly creature behind their revered status as divine beings. The bodies of these white buffaloes hide a biological vulnerability that demands extraordinary care. Species profile. The albino water buffalo skin type, pale pink, completely lacking protective melanin pigment. Primary threat. The scorching heat of the tropical Javanese sun. Health risks, severe sunburns, heat stroke, and skin cancer. To survive, their daily routine is strictly governed by the rhythm of the sun. They spend the blistering daylight hours retreating into the deep shadows of their enclosures or submerged in specialized mud wallows. This physical vulnerability creates a dramatic paradox. A creature believed to possess the immense spiritual power to protect the kingdom is, in reality, a fragile beast that requires absolute protection from the very environment it inhabits. The vanishing icons. Today, a new threat looms over the sacred white buffaloes, one that rituals cannot fight. The lineage is shrinking. Maintaining a pure genetic line of albino water buffaloes within a small royal herd is incredibly difficult. Diseases, lack of genetic diversity, and the pressures of a rapidly modernizing world mean that the number of true Kerbal Bulle is dwindling. Every time a new calf is born with that signature pink and white skin, the palace rejoices. It is seen as a sign that the heavens are still smiling on the land. But if the line fades, a vital piece of Indonesia's living spiritual tapestry disappears with them. They are a bridge to an ancient world where nature and the supernatural walked hand in hand. The mirror of culture. Ultimately, the story of the Kerbal Bulle is not just about a rare animal. It is a reflection of the human soul and our deep-seated need to find magic in the extraordinary. In the West, an albino animal is a scientific curiosity, a subject for a textbook. But in the heartbeat of Java, it is a reminder that some things are meant to be revered, not just analyzed. The white buffalo stand as living monuments to a culture that refuses to let go of its mystery. The next time you think of a water buffalo as just a humble worker in a muddy field, remember the white shadows of Java. Creatures born of a genetic fluke, raised to the status of royalty, and carrying the spiritual hopes of millions on their pale, majestic backs. They are the legends that refuse to fade, walking quietly through the modern world, guarding secrets that science can never fully explain. If you felt the mystery of the Kerbal Bulle today, don't let this story end here. Hit that like button.
Ini kerbau
Drop
namanya.
your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe in the power of these sacred creatures? And if you want to uncover more hidden wonders of the animal kingdom that the rest of the world has forgotten, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next exploration.